he made $100 million, and he's his own boss. He can say and do what he wants to do, having a great team.
Yeah.
Because no one person can do it by himself. That was the core of the team.
Gotcha.
And it was a tremendous sacrifice, especially for me. I worked like 15 years straight, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Wow.
That whole middle part of my life.
Yeah.
It didn't exist. It didn't exist.
And now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed, or was it your own financial ignorance, and now you're bitter?
People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fall. Potentially
You're right,
fall.
but when you call yourself the money man, you do it to yourself a little bit too.
No, I can't argue with that.
Leonard Ellerbe recently responded to reports about Floyd Mayweather Jr. allegedly losing his $1.1 billion fortune, saying the news did not surprise him. After spending years working closely with Floyd, Ellerbe had a first-hand view of the boxer's extravagant lifestyle and the enormous amounts of money he spent. According to him, those expensive habits eventually became a major factor behind the financial struggles that followed.
Saying from day one what it is that, and then they know, everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me. They said, oh, he just talking nonsense. I've been told all.
Leonard Ellerbe says that once someone reaches the level of fame and success achieved by Floyd Mayweather Jr., criticism naturally becomes part of the journey. According to him, the real challenge is not avoiding negativity, but learning how to handle it the right way.
When you're on top, when you're at the top, you can expect criticism. It just comes with success, and it's all about how you handle things. And me personally, none of it's personal.
Leonard Ellerbe suggested that Floyd Mayweather Jr. had the potential to build an extremely successful business legacy. However, reaching that level would have required greater focus, stronger dedication, and wiser long-term decision-making.
Formed his own company,
right?
But he was the first one that had a team surrounded by him. That our focus was the business, and his focus was the boxing. And in turn, we built the brand, built Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And Floyd became his own boss.
Wow.
Logan Paul took a jab at Floyd Mayweather Jr., stating that he is still waiting for the remaining $1.5 million that he claims has not been paid from their exhibition bout.
He's still waiting on the 1.5 from Floyd Mayweather. He made this video simultaneously with the beef with Le'Veon, and I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it isn't.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back, or I'm gonna send my goons after you. Gotcha. Hey.
I really don't know why I watched that. Yeah, listen, dude. Logan is, again, functionally a coward for not doing this. I was really excited for it, too. I couldn't wait. That was about to be content, son. But, I mean, okay, yes, I understand if he is under WWE contract, they're not going to allow him.
According to Teddy Atlas, the public reaction around Floyd Mayweather Jr. has changed dramatically. Many of those who once admired and applauded his success are now enjoying his struggles, treating his current situation as a moment of public humiliation.
Like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And and I've taken I've taken arrows for it, and of course, I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made it.
WAC 100 believes that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is nowhere near financially ruined. In his view, Floyd's greatest riches come from the inner peace he maintains and the way he refuses to let rumors or public criticism affect his personal life or career.
What's rich at right now?
What's that?
His peace of mind. When I send him things, like I send you things when it's pertaining to you, when he gets the time, he'll call me and he say, hey, Wack, what's that? And I tell him, he said, that's nonsense. He said, well, as long as they trying to figure me out, they not gonna be able to figure out what they need to do. And he continues to move. I will say this without saying too much, that I've seen him pass on some big deals based upon the business he already has on the table. But again, I've been to his home. I talk to him regular.
Paulie Malignaggi believes that Floyd Mayweather Jr. could have avoided much of the speculation surrounding his wealth if he had kept his finances private. However, by constantly showcasing his lavish lifestyle, he gave the public more reason to closely examine and question the true state of his fortune.
How much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly, and they don't ask you for.
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you. Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely they confirm you have money. They don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is sick. Like, they guilt you into it, and you almost feel bad now.
A boxing analyst explores the surprising financial troubles linked to Floyd Mayweather Jr., a fighter long known for publicly displaying his enormous wealth. Over the course of his career, Mayweather worked with major industry figures, including Steven Espinoza at Showtime. Despite those high-profile partnerships, he is now seeking $340 million through a lawsuit alleging unpaid earnings. Although his longtime advisor, Al Heyman, is not named as a defendant, the increasing number of legal disputes has continued to draw public attention. The commentator also suggests that Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle may have contributed to his current problems, highlighting his massive collection of luxury cars, costly jewelry, and private jet.
We are going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex.
Expenses related to luxury homes, costly rental obligations, and unpaid debts reportedly continued to mount, eventually triggering multiple legal battles. A couple in Miami who owned a condominium rented by Floyd Mayweather claimed that nearly $500,000 in rent remained unpaid. Reports suggest payments were initially made, but communication later stopped when attempts were made to collect the outstanding amount. Analysts believe that reckless spending, weak financial management, and heavy reliance on others for major financial decisions eventually led to serious difficulties. They also emphasize that fame and fortune alone do not guarantee lasting financial stability, noting that even world-class athletes can suffer financial ruin when their wealth is not handled responsibly.
represents the 500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the 100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the 100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took.
Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri discuss how Floyd Mayweather Jr. ended up dealing with financial concerns despite earning enormous wealth throughout his career. Malignaggi explains that it is hard to understand how someone managing finances on Mayweather's scale could let such massive amounts of money go untracked. He compares ordinary luxury spending, like buying a Ferrari or expensive jewelry, to the extraordinary sums that moved through Mayweather's career. While everyday lavish purchases may not cause serious damage, the level of money involved in Floyd's earnings was far greater. Algieri adds that during the height of Mayweather's success, failing to account for revenue from even one fight could create serious financial losses. If that happened repeatedly across multiple events, those missing amounts could quickly turn into extremely costly problems.
I don't know, like there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend 20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what, I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went to with my friend to go check out a Ferrari he was gonna buy. I went there and I'm like, I got this in my account, I could buy this right now. You know, like that, you know? And I'm not saying that's smart, what I'm saying is,
your accountant must have loved you.
yeah, really. but what I'm saying is, I got good money for that when I sold it. I gotta be honest.
I'm listening.
The used car market came back at the time. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it could go like that, okay? That kind of money. But bro, 340 million? That's not Ferrari, but that's a lot of Ferraris, a lot of houses.
But Floyd had a lot of Ferraris. And that's the thing about Floyd. Like, yes, is that way too much money? Yes, that's a crazy amount.
Paulie Malignaggi draws comparisons with past cases, mentioning fighters like Mike Tyson, who suffered huge financial losses due to poor management and exploitation by people around them. Both analysts emphasize that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s financial troubles were not caused by a sudden issue appearing years after his biggest paydays. Instead, they believe someone may have recently uncovered specific problems or started reviewing his financial records more closely. Their discussion highlights that even boxing's biggest stars are not protected from financial hardship, as fame and wealth alone are not enough to guarantee long-term financial security.
Lost track of an entire fight person, more than one fight, multiple fight
at the height of your career.
$340 million. There's nights where you didn't make that much money in a night.
But we heard about stuff like this with Mike Tyson back in the day. Yeah. Big money losses, people taking advantage of him, a number of different things. Now, all that being said and done, 10 years is the point. That is the major point of all of this. Because when you look about this now, 10 years, where does this come from? It makes me think that someone's gotten in his ear. And maybe, where does this come from out of nowhere? Is he going through the books now, 10 years later? No, of course not. Someone else is. Someone else is probably telling him, hey man, this is like this,
so
is like that. So
you think it did happen?
I don't know. I think regardless of whether it happened or it didn't, that's
what I'm wondering.
Unless it's coming out of nowhere, unless he literally is just getting just
he's losing his mind because there's a lot of rumors about him losing money, right?
Losing money, being I don't want to say destitute, but the old saying, the mighty is.
Dan Raphael said he was not surprised by reports suggesting Floyd Mayweather Jr. has faced financial problems since retiring from boxing. According to Raphael, anyone who closely observed Floyd's career could have seen these difficulties coming because of how openly he displayed his spending. His extravagant lifestyle was constantly visible, from private jets and luxury cars to lavish vacations and regular displays of wealth. Raphael explained that Mayweather lived on a scale of excess few could truly relate to, and much of that lifestyle was repeatedly showcased to the public through interviews, videos, and social media.
The fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't.
Dan Raphael further emphasized that spending habits like these can eventually lead to serious financial trouble. He believes that even someone as successful as Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not immune when luxury spending becomes excessive and difficult to control. According to Raphael, Mayweather maintained a lifestyle filled with non-stop luxury travel, costly purchases, and ongoing expenses that required enormous financial upkeep. He sees Floyd's situation as a warning for athletes and public figures alike, showing that no amount of income can fully protect someone from financial decline. In his view, reckless spending paired with weak long-term financial planning helps explain how Mayweather could experience financial pressure despite earning historic sums during his boxing career.
Out the 340 million, it just didn't ring true to me, because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired and they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make and the person that he's paid.
Analyst Fannin examines Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s recent legal actions, explaining that after facing financial pressure, Mayweather has decided to pursue legal claims against several former business associates. Fannin states that despite reportedly earning over $1 billion during his undefeated boxing career, Floyd now argues that a significant share of that money never came fully under his personal control. The lawsuit targets Showtime and former network executive Steven Espinoza, with allegations related to financial management involving Al Heyman, Mayweather's longtime advisor. Fannin also notes that although Al Heyman is not officially listed as a defendant, Mayweather claims that key individuals at Showtime and Espinoza played important roles in the handling of his finances.
According to TMZ, let's get to the TMZ. Floyd Mayweather sues Showtime, saying, "I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars." Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. He is now suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate financial.
The lawsuit alleges that revenue from major fights, including bouts against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, was supposedly directed into accounts linked to Al Heyman rather than being fully transferred to Floyd Mayweather Jr. It is also claimed that when Mayweather's team later requested access to Showtime financial records, they were reportedly informed that the documents were missing or unavailable, further raising concerns about possible financial misconduct. Analyst Fannin explains that this case highlights the challenges elite athletes often face when navigating complex financial systems. He notes that depending heavily on outside handlers while lacking proper oversight can gradually lead to major losses. According to Fannin, Mayweather's legal action is not only an attempt to recover funds he believes were mishandled, but also a move that exposes the complicated financial ties between fighters, promoters, and media companies within professional boxing.
To see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about or did know about or maybe did not understand, because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Heyman and not directly to him. Regardless, I don't know the outcome of that. I will talk about this though. The absolute blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he...
WAC 100 states that Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains calm and unaffected by public criticism or rumors spreading across social media, especially since he does not personally manage those platforms. He explains that a large share of Mayweather's wealth is reportedly spread across multiple business entities, including trusts, companies, and investment structures, making the full scope of his finances difficult for outsiders to understand. Even if it may not always appear that way publicly, WAC 100 maintains that Floyd is still financially stable and secure. He also emphasizes that, for Mayweather, wealth goes beyond money alone and includes personal fulfillment. According to him, Floyd places great value on spending time with family, particularly with his grandson, showing that his sense of happiness and stability extends far beyond financial success.
On out there, it's phasing him, but get to him. He doesn't even control his social media. He doesn't see it. I'm telling you, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's posting himself. He has someone that
he doesn't see it. He doesn't pay any attention. When I need something done, I have to send it to different channels for it to get done. But no, he's definitely not. I mean, we know that. He has tons of businesses going on. They were making accusations that he didn't own the things he owned. You're not going to find nothing in Floyd's name directly. You're not going to find, when you're dealing with that type of money and those type of situations, you know this, Vlad, it's set up. It could be a foundation, a trust.
Yeah, shell companies, corporations, LLCs, whatever.
I know some of these people that they'll say they own 40 different companies, but what it is, they're part of an investment.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Be sure to stay tuned for more exciting updates coming soon.